97.7.
All right, 97.3.
97.7.
Perfect.
So one of the few nice things about the pandemic is that there's no more traffic. And now I get an extra hour in the morning before work, so I try to come in early when I can and study in the library. Okay, I think we're gonna set up camp here at one of these computers and go over some neurology today, and then maybe do some reading on the coronavirus. So I'm using RemNote. Maddie and I talked about this app in some of our other videos, but basically it's our favorite study tool right now because it automatically converts your notes into flashcards with spaced repetition, so it saves you a ton of time. I love listening to chill lo-fi music when I study, and if you guys are looking for a playlist or some lo-fi beats to add to your list, then definitely check out our latest album on Spotify. All right guys, it's early in the morning and I have a couple minutes before I need to start pre-rounding on my patients, and I just wanted to take a moment to talk about some of the interesting cases that I have for this week. So one of my patients is this 60-year-old guy who has lung cancer, and he had part of his lung cut out as part of his cancer treatment, and unfortunately after the procedure he had this giant air leak. So basically he has this hole in his lung, and every time he breathes in, the air just leaks out onto the inside of his body, and we call that subcutaneous emphysema. His neck is puffed up like a bullfrog, and if you press on his abdomen and his back, it feels like Rice Krispies because of all the air underneath the skin. And his scrotum is big like a watermelon. Can't even imagine how painful it is because he's getting morphine around the clock. But he's probably one of the most easygoing and down-to-earth patients I've ever met. So I really hope that he continues to improve. And then we have this other case, which is really sad. It's a 50-year-old lady who had been bleeding at home for about 3 weeks, and she decided that she was gonna tough it out at home. And like many people, she didn't want to come to the hospital because she was either afraid to catch the coronavirus, or she didn't want to overload the healthcare system, or whatever her reason was. But finally, she bled so much that she passed out and had to be brought emergently to the hospital. So by the time we were called to see her, she was a complete mess. She needed transfusions. We found that she had a cancer that was brewing inside her body this entire time, and she needed to be placed on ECMO. And I think that had she come into the hospital earlier, all of this could have been prevented. And I can't imagine how many people out there are dying, not because of coronavirus, but because they can't get medical attention soon enough because of this pandemic lockdown. So I've been working in the intensive care unit this past week, and working in a hospital during a pandemic has been interesting. In the beginning, it was chaotic and we were figuring things out, but now it seems like there's become a new norm. It's quiet, the hallways are empty, everyone's wearing a mask and keeping distance, and half the hospital is shut down or working from home. But the people who still have to come to work are really busy. It's like the rest of the outside world. Some people have lost their job and have no work and are not getting paid. And then some people still have their jobs, but are getting paid the same amount for working 10 times harder while having to put themselves and potentially their families in danger. And let's not forget about the patients who are actually sick with the coronavirus. The ones we're taking care of here in the ICU, many of them who are hooked up to life support and actually live, they seem to stay on the machines unconscious for 2, 3, 4 weeks. So if you're one of these patients, imagine suddenly getting sick and then passing out and then waking up a month later. I mean, you've just lost a whole month of your life during what seems like the biggest depression in our lifetime. And when you wake up, nothing is the same. And it's just crazy to think about. But anyways, there's still a lot that we don't know about COVID. Earlier this month, we started talking about how COVID isn't just a lung disease. Yes, it enters your body through your airways, but we know that it can affect the way that your blood clots. And that's why we're seeing strokes in COVID patients. So there's definitely a lot of learning for us to do, both medically and non-medically. We've had to train on using PAPRs, which are these things that make you look like you're in Stranger Things. We've had to train on using glide scopes to intubate our patients, and we've had to train our faces to endure wearing an N95 mask all day long, especially our cheeks and our ears. So that's been fun. As some of you might already know, I'm in my final year of residency and I'll be graduating in June. And it's kind of a big deal because at this point, I've made it through college and medical school and residency. So my medical journey has been, 12 years, 25 years if you include all the schooling I did from K through 12. But I've basically been in school my entire life. And after residency, I'll finally get to be on my own, doing adult things. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal. And at the end of residency, our program, and I think every other program does this too, we throw a banquet where all of our faculty and mentors and all the doctors that we've worked with come together, and we bring our families, and there's a lot of food and drinks, and it's a good time, and we celebrate. Well, this year, that's not gonna happen for us. We're just gonna continue working, and then in the end, actually, I don't even know what's gonna happen in the end, but it's just gonna be very anticlimactic. And I'm not looking for sympathy here because I know that there are a lot of people out there who are way worse off than I am. Aside from all the unemployment and the economy, I'm talking about the students who are gonna graduate this summer from high school, college, grad school, because by now you probably know that your graduation celebrations are canceled. And I know it's tough to hear. I know that a lot of you guys have been working really hard and you've had big plans and you're chasing your dreams and getting ready to go out into the world and make an impact, only to see now what the state of the world has become. And I know it's not easy and I feel for you guys, but we're gonna get through this because tough times are here, whether you like it or not. And it's really the way that we deal with these challenges that makes us who we are. So congratulations, class of 2020. The world is a mess right now, but it just means that there's a lot of work to be done and it gives us all a chance to make a difference. I hope you enjoyed that video. Give it a thumbs up because it really helps us out. And if you want to see more, click on the red subscribe button down here or the circle up here.
Check out our website or check out our Instagram, links in the description below. And check out these videos over here. We think you might enjoy them.
And we'll see you next time.